Welcome to our channel Karnataka Government Employees Forum. Please subscribe and press the bell icon for the notification. Today let us know about Karnataka Civil Service Rules. Vindication of acts and character of government servants. No government servant shall expect with the previous sanction of the governments and have recourse to any court or to the press for the vindication of any official act which has been the subject matter of adverse criticism or an act of defamatory character. Nothing in this rule shall be deemed to prohibit government servant from vindicating his private character or any act done by him in his private capacity, and where an action for the vindicating his private character or any act done by him in private capacity is taken, the government servant shall submit a report to the prescribed authority regarding such action. Guardianship of minors. A government servant may not, without the previous sanction of the prescribed authority, acts as a legal guardian of the person or the property of a minor other than his dependent. Explanation. A dependent for the purpose of his rule means a government servant's wife, children and stepchildren and children's children, and shall also be including his sisters, brothers' children and sisters' children if residing with him and wholly dependent upon him. Canvassing of non-official or other influence. No government servant shall bring or attempt to bring any political or other influence to bear upon any superior authority to further his interest in respect of matter pertaining to his service under the government. Personal representation of the government servant. Any representation by government servant shall only be made through a proper channel, and whenever it is addressed to the government, the advance copy shall only be submitted to the secretary to government of department concerned and not to the minister in charge of the department. Provided that the government servant may submit an advance copy of his representation to the minister concerned when all means of securing attention or redress from the lower authorities have been exhausted, or if his representation is not replied to within a period of 3 months. Bigamous marriage. No government servant who has a wife living shall contract another marriage without first obtaining permission of the government, notwithstanding that such subsequent marriage is permissible under the personal law for the time being applicable to him. No female government shall marry any person who has a wife living without first obtaining the permission of the government. Consumption of intoxicating drinks and drugs. A government servant shall strictly abide by any law relating to intoxicating drinks or drugs in force in any areas in which he may happen to be for the time being. Take due care that the performance of his duty is not affected in any way by the influence of any intoxicating drink or drug. Not appear in a public place in a state of intoxication, not habitually use any intoxicating drug or drink to excess. Explanation. For the purpose of this rule, no public place means any place or premises to which the public have or are permitted to have access, whether on payment or otherwise. Employment of children. No government servant shall employ any child below the age of 14 years to work for domestic help. Breach of sub-rule by any government servant shall amount to misconduct attracting any of the penalties specified in clauses 5 and to 8 of Rule 8 of Karnataka Civil Service Rules of 1957. Prohibition of sexual harassment. No government servant shall subject any women government servant to sexual harassment in working place. Explanation: for the purpose of this rule, sexual harassment includes such unwelcome sexually determined, whether directly or by implication, behavior as physical contact and advances, a demand or request for sexual favors, sexually colored remarks, showing pornography, or any other unwelcome physical, verbal, or non-verbal conduct of sexual nature. Taking care of spouse and children. No government servant shall neglect to take care of the basic necessities such as food, clothing, shelter, and education of his or her spouse and children. Interpretation: if any question arises relating to interpretation of these rules, it shall be referred to government, whose decisions thereon shall be final. Delegation of powers. The government may, by general or special order, direct that any power exercisable by it or any head or department under these rules shall subject to such conditions, if any, as may be specified in the order, be exercisable also by such officer or authority as may be specified in the order. Repeal and savings. Any rules corresponding to these rules in force immediately before the commencement of those rules and applicable to government servant to whom these rules apply are hereby repealed, provided that any order made or action taken under the rules so repealed shall be deemed to have been made or taken under the corresponding provisions of these rules. That's it for today. Thank you. Have a great day. Hope it was informative.